So my interest in data science really stemmed from my university degree. I studied physics at the University of Cardiff, and it was actually during my dissertation where I really developed that passion. The overall theme was essentially thinking in the way of a data scientist. So I was obtaining data from various sources online, from libraries and things like that, using that data to create a predictive model using Python. So I wasn't new to Python. I had been doing it for a few years at uni, but this was the first time I'd really led a project myself, particularly over a long period of time. And it was through doing that I really discovered, wow, I actually quite enjoy this. I like the way of thinking, manipulating the data and using it to produce various graphs and findings that I can then present myself. And that is really the basis of a lot of data science, And after university, I knew I wanted to do something with tech and with coding and something along the lines of data. After a few months where I landed upon a company called Digital Futures, which is a company whereby you learn the fundamentals of data analytics in my case, and they teach you up, give you sort of real life experience on various projects and learn different types of coding languages and things like that. And then finally, after graduating from their academy, I managed to secure an interview at Asda and landed a job as a data scientist at Asda. And of course, I'm not looking back because it was a fantastic decision for my career. So for me, when I'm looking at an application and I'm trying to identify how does this person stand out above other data professionals, I always come back to one thing, which is, I think, very important for people that are starting out their career. And for me, that's the ability to communicate. So data scientists, people that have a background in science and mathematics, things like that, are always very intelligent, simple as that. But often they have the intelligence and the technical skills, but they don't always have the ability to communicate those things. And that is really a fundamental part of the job, because when you're interacting with stakeholders or managers or just people that are a bit more distant to the project, you need to be able to communicate the technical side, the code, the model that you're working on in a way which is easy for them to understand, knowing that they have limited experience. And something that a lot of people, it doesn't come naturally to them, but it's something you can work on through practice. You can do it through interviews, carrying out presentations, or generally just thinking and writing about a project, imagining that you're presenting to some sort of stakeholders or a manager or something like that. For me, it's really important for an applicant to, of course, be intelligent and know those technical skills, but be able to communicate them clearly and effectively. The one piece of advice that I would give to someone starting out their career in data would be to have an open mind. And the reason I say this is because data science, data analytics, it's one of those industries that you don't necessarily hear about much when you're young. You hear a lot about the doctors and the lawyers and those sort of typical routes into careers, right? But data it's a fairly new industry. It's constantly evolving, and you don't necessarily hear about it much. So I didn't have any real understanding of what went into a data science role until I really put in some research. There's so many different layers to a data science role that it's not just strictly back end, working on technical coding and engineering, things like that. It can be like that, but if you enter the role with an open mind, you'll find that there is actually lots of different paths you can go down within the data industry. It's certainly not linear. Career progression is very vast. There's lots of different routes you can go down. And I don't think you really understand that until you put in enough research and, of course, approach the industry with an open mind. So that would be my piece of advice to someone starting out their career.